Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Welcome back, my friends, to BjjBrick Quick. This is the Quick Jiu-Jitsu Podcast. My name is Byron. Today, we're talking about BJJ and work. And work is important. I know your jiu-jitsu is important. You're listening to a jiu-jitsu podcast. You're sold on that. Work is important. Your career is important. Your transition to a different career is important. All these things, your ability to make an income and be reliable with that. And in the U.S., we often will tie our health insurance with our work. These are all important things. And whether you're a hobbyist or a serious athlete, work is important, or at least access to funding is important. And maybe you're coming into this already wealthy, and it's not really a thing. But for the vast majority of people living in that, the normal reality, work is an important thing. And this is part of the story, or the things that affect people in the, obviously the master's division, the adult division, as soon as life hits you, work life, it's going to affect your jiu-jitsu. And maybe, you start a serious job, you find jiu-jitsu, and then you save up some money to try to take a good run at competing and see what that does for you, and see if you can make a living in the world of jiu-jitsu based on competing. That's a very rare thing. And most people that do that have a successful story end up coaching and running an academy as well. It seems like maybe in the future there'll be more people that could just compete and do that as their job. Don't know if that's coming around the corner or not, but we have to live in the current reality, and most people cannot just compete and get a few sponsors to help pay for a few gis and do jiu-jitsu. It's just not something that we could do. So, all things would be great if you could design your own work schedule. If you could go to work at your own hours, and maybe some of you are able to do that working from home more often and able to punch out for a little bit longer of a lunch break and roll during that time. That's an advantage. And is that worth a little bit different pay, or to put up with a boss that maybe not your favorite boss ever, because you could get away and do jiu-jitsu during a work day? I know a lot of guys. So my most common time to train is 11 o'clock in the morning. It's just because my wife is at work, so her work life is affecting this. And if she's not wanting to go train that evening, I'll train in the morning at 11. We call it the lunch hour, but it's 11 to noon, about 12:15 or so. And her work schedule is affecting this. If she worked in the evenings, I would train in the evening class. That's what I used to do when she did work in the evenings. I guess my work is not really messing with it. So I work a 24-hour shift every third day. It's really a pretty good schedule for jiu-jitsu. I can get usually 1 or 2 of my days training, and if I really wanted to, I can get 2. And then the third day is basically impossible to train. I've had mats at the station before, and I've done a little bit of that, but the idea of getting people there that know what they're doing, that's really not on the table for me at the time. There's obviously guys that train on the job, but it's just not really practical to pursue that for me. But I could also work out and do some off-the-mat training and strength and conditioning and things like that while I'm at work. That's really nice for me. Anyway, you've got to get that balance, and I don't know how much advice I can give any one person. If you focus too much on jiu-jitsu and it takes away from your ability to do your job effectively, you know what, maybe and you call in sick on a weekend to go to a seminar. Well, that makes your boss angry. Maybe you're too beat up on Thursday morning from Wednesday's class and you don't come in, or you come in late. Those things are going to affect your ability to train long term because they're affecting your ability to make an income and provide for your family, or at least yourself. So you got to find that balance. And we're all at different stages in life, and maybe you've got a lot of children and expenses and debt, and maybe you have quite the opposite and you've inherited a large chunk of money. But figure out your schedule, and I think that's part of a big thing. If you were trying to select a gym, find a gym that offers classes that you would like to go to at a time where you're not at work. And that's a nice thing about Fox. They have a 6 a.m. class, they have an 11 a.m. class, and a 6:30 class, and they have a few things on the weekends. It's like, you can make that work. If you're too busy for that, you're probably too busy for jiu-jitsu. Anyway, find balance. And also, I'm going a little bit long here, but sometimes work has like a busy season, and you might take off a week or a month or a quarter, and you just have to work extra hard and try to maintain your fitness off the mat, because your off the mat time is easier to do. You could throw on running shoes and go run. You could do that 20 minutes, hop in the shower and go to work. That's a lot quicker of a workout and a turnaround time than it would be to, drive to the gym and get warmed up and stretch and do jiu-jitsu. So at least try to maintain a level of fitness if your work is kind of getting overwhelming for a season. And that way when you hit the mats, you haven't really lost a step, and keep the interest high and listen to podcasts and study technique and that sort of thing when you're not able to get in there and do the work because of work. Anyway, I'm sure I missed a few things. I'd like to hear them. Comment on this episode. That'd be great. If you have any topics you'd like me to cover, send them here. This episode was sent to me from my friend Peter from South Australia. Thank you, Peter. He's got this one and the next one that we're going to cover next episode. So thank you for that, Peter. Until next time, keep on working and stay sweaty, my friends.